want to imagine, you guys to imagine a picture that visitors or people who are coming to complex and entering through the gateway, they're going to the right side, they're praying there, and they're going to the assembly hall or the guest house and resting there, reading their books, because you also have to share it on the books, on the structure, but that's all fallen now. Just imagine a picture that you are entering through the massive gateway, the Bada Gumba, the big door, they're praying and they're resting, in the guest house. So, since we don't have any grave here, this acted as the massive gateway. The gateway, as compared to other structures, doesn't have any paint work. I'm sure it was painted, but it came out and it also attracted fungus. That's why we have blackened walls. It is literally dull and plain compared to other structures. Lodi structures are generally very decorated and designed in carved, unlike this particular structure. It again in Lodi period, they're using domes and arches. They're also using temple gateways as well. Okay, all four sides are open. You don't see mihrab on the west side. So we're sure that it wasn't used for a praying purpose. If it was used as a burial or as a mosque, I'm sure they would have built a mihrab. Since the mihrab or the western slab is missing, historians say that it was surely not used for praying purpose. Some historians also say that as a part of beautifying the whole place, Britishers must have taken the grave out. It belonged to a very important minister of Sikandar Lodi, but as such we don't see any signs. We don't see any underground chamber, we don't see any mihrab. So let's just call this huge structure as a massive gateway to the complex. Yeah? And it has a high dome, it has a very high dome. This is the tallest building in the complex. Right? One of the sides of the mosque, on both the sides you have such huge windows. These windows are called jharokas. Again, jharokas are huge windows used for Hindu structures like palaces. They are not Islamic in nature. So again, that was copied by a Hindu structure, right? And you will see jharokas, huge jharokas on both the sides. That's the west side and this is the other side where you enter. But on two sides you will see such huge jharokas. Also notice the towers on the sides. That is to give strength to the structure. Other than that, it is a replica of Qutb Minar. If you know, Qutb Minar was built as a victory tower of Islamic rule in India. Probably again that was copied by the later rulers to show their victory over a foreign land or a Hindu land, right? Okay, the speciality about these towers are they're all tapering towers. If they fall, they don't fall on the structure, they fall out without damaging the structure. They're built like that, they don't fall, won't damage the structure, they fall out or they fall right below, they won't fall on the structure. If you notice, you've got four such towers surrounding Taj Mahal. Again, they are the best examples of tapering towers. If any earthquake or anything happens to the structure or the tower, it will fall outwards without damaging the structure. So they're called tapering towers and they're replica of the Victory Tower, that is Qutb Minar. As I said, for me this is the highlight of the complex. The reason is because of its very intricate carving and very intricate designing. Unfortunately, it's all come out, but you'll still see traces of intricate carving and designing. It's called Bada Gumbaz Mosque. It's also called Three-Domed Mosque. Yeah, and it has 5 arched gateways. Yeah, the middle one is big, followed by little small ones, followed by the smallest arched gateways. If you notice, they're all uniform in size. You will also see multiple arches. Again, that's another feature which is added by the later on Muslim rulers. You will also see band of calligraphy again. Okay, the carving is done not on the stone, it's done on the plaster work, right? And the mending material is limestone, alright? And the main material is for this particular structure is ashlar stone. It is, it's very neatly cut. You see, you won't be able to see it properly, but there are neatly cut stones. The structure must have undergone a lot of restoration and conservation, but originally it was neatly cut ashlar stone. And again, masjid is one of the main structures of the masjid and the mosque were focused, and rulers used to focus a lot on building mosques because everything they did had a religious taste in it. So obviously the mosque will be given little extra attention and little more beautification as compared to the other gateways. If you notice the interiors and the exteriors of the mosque, it's very much more complicated than a normal gateway. Yeah, that's because it's one of the main places, praying places for Islamic rulers in Islam, right? We again have this stucco work back, which was missing in the gateway. It's again come back, again copied, by Lodi rulers as well. Again, the concept is the same. The imported, colors, again green, red and blue, again decorated by band of calligraphy. Again, if you notice, it's a hall with arched hall. It has rooms. The arched rooms are marked like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not a very big mosque, but enough to fit in 100, 200 people with a courtyard outside. Okay, the main hall and the courtyard outside. Okay, so it was a congregational mosque, not big as Jama Masjid, but slightly big. Okay. On the western side, you have many mihrabs, so that people don't have to come to the central room and focus. They can sit on all the on the ground anywhere inside the hall, and they can face the mihrab. So on the western side, you will see more than one mihrab. There are multiple mihrabs, and as compared to the other sides, mihrab was differently designed and carved. If you notice, they're designed with red sandstone. It's an expensive stone. So again, if you notice, the religious influence is high in Islamic structures. With the small opening, you see, they are for the oil lamps. Because as you know, Muslims are supposed to offer namaz 5 times a day. Namaz is also offered during dark, during night and during evening. So that's for while you are praying little late. They're oil lamps. Yeah. Okay. Again, as I said, the reason why this particular structure stands out is because of the very detailed calligraphy and design. Yeah, and some people say that these blocks were carved out of a single, slab. And that was again, if you go to Taj Mahal, you see the jali work, the network, that's again carved out of a single stone or a slab. So again, notice they're very minute and detailed, and every room will give you a different design. Yeah? Unfortunately, it's all gone out, but there you have the most amazing structure in the complex. What means tank in Arabic? It was used for this main ritual which was performed before namaz, that is wuzu. Wuzu is cleaning of your exposed limbs before offering namaz. And it was like a small tank. It had steps which led and buckets kept so that people can go and clean themselves before offering namaz. Unfortunately, it's all got filled up. Gradually it got filled up. More with that, you see there are still traces of steps there. With steps going, and all the active mosques even today will have around the world will have a tank. Yeah.